April the 10th. The spawning that started last month carries on apace this month. Pike, perch, ruff, gudgeon and stickleback are all spawning in shallow water, often near vegetation. Carp and roach will spawn a little later. London's lakes and reservoirs are rich in fish. In the 1970s, 50,000 roach and 30,000 perch were recorded from the Serpentine in Hyde Park. When Penn Pond in Richmond Park was drained, carp, bream, pike, perch, dace and eel were all recorded. Including the estuarine portion of the Thames, over 100 different species of fish are now known to occur in London. In rivers, lakes and reservoirs, the following have been recorded: rainbow and brown trout, salmon, common and crucian carp, tench, roach, rudd, dace, chub, bleak, stone loach, barbel, bullhead, gudgeon, silver and bronze bream, 3 and 10 spine stickleback, minnows, goldfish and pike. Sticklebacks are among the easiest to catch and observe and are none the less exciting for that. The male 3-spined stickleback, like many fish, comes into his nuptial colours this month. In this case, he is a fiery red below, pale blue above, with a dazzling blue-green eye. Using a sticky secretion produced by his kidneys, he makes a nest of plant material and sand, which he jealously guards for his mate. With darting movement, he attracts a series of females into his nest and then nudges them to lay their eggs. Once the female has laid her eggs, he fertilizes them, then chases her off. He then vigilantly looks after the eggs, regularly ventilating them with his waving tail. After 2 weeks, he may be seen collecting the young fry in his mouth, returning them to his nest if they stray too far. This can all be observed in an aquarium. Other fish may be seen feeding near any surface shoals of Daphnia, and some, such as gudgeon, may be seen rushing towards the shore whilst releasing their eggs as they do so. Freshwater molluscs. Water snails are familiar to anyone who has ever swept a net across the margins of a pond, lake or river. You are likely to encounter perhaps up to 10 different species doing this, but many of our other aquatic and amphibious molluscs have more specific requirements, and so you are better to look near springs, in marshes, ditches, brackish water, or even temporary pools in woodland. Good places generally to look for them are in the Grand Union Canal and the River Colne and Crane, as well as their tributaries. The most familiar water snail to be encountered is likely to be the great pond snail, Limnia stagnalis. It has a cavity or lung in its shell which is filled with air, which it regularly has to replace by coming to the surface. This is why we see them floating under the meniscus until they are disturbed, when they quickly release this air, sink and disappear. It is our largest water snail, up to 5 centimeters, and has a slender turret-shaped spire and unusual triangular tentacles. Sometimes their shells have distorted growth rings, indicating that at one time or another they were an intermediate host for a parasitic fluke. At other times we see them feeding on submerged vegetation with their 300 rows of teeth, each row with 16 teeth. The great ram's horn, Phanaberius corneus, 3 centimeters, is the largest of another attractive group of snails called the ram's horns. They have spirally coiled shells, usually flattened or partially flattened into a dish shape. In ponds with little oxygen, their bodies often redden due to an increase of hemoglobin, and in the albino form of the great ram's horn, the whole snail becomes an alarming crimson colour. The swan mussel, Anodontis cygnia, always stands out due to its large size, up to 15 or even 20 centimeters, and impressive numbers are sometimes seen at the edges of reservoirs. At this time of year, they are discharging their parasitic larvae that attach themselves to fish, grow a little before dropping off as minute mussels into the mud. The shells of the smaller painter mussel, Unio pictorum, 8 centimeters, were used at one time by painters to mix their paints. Both can be found in the Grand Union Canal. A large, more typically shaped greenish-brown snail, but with bulging whorls and 3 bands, is the common river snail, Viviparus viviparus, 3 centimeters. It is not that easy to find, as it spends most of its life half buried in the mud, with just its mouth visible, but does occur in Longford River. Other striking water snails worth looking for, although sometimes you will need a lens to identify them, are the ear snail, moss bladder snail, Nautilus ramshorn, and the nerite. The ear snail, Limnia auricularia, 3 centimeters, has a flared ear-like aperture and can be found in reed beds. The moss bladder snail, Aplexa hypnorum, 13 millimeters, has a long, slender, highly polished shell and can sometimes even be seen jumping. The nautilus ram's horn, Gyrolis crista, 3 millimeters, rarely comes to the surface, and being so small, we rarely get to see the attractive ridged whorls on its shell. Lastly, the nerite, Theodoxus fluviatilis, 1 centimeters, can cause excitement due to its mottled colours. It can be yellow, brown, or black with white, pink, or purple spots, and has a red or orange operculum. The rarer colour combinations are much sought after by shell collectors. It can be found in Raisbury River. Generally, the water snails you tend to come across are the air-breathing Limnaea species and various ram's horn. The most common limnaeid is the wandering pond snail, Limnaea peregra. It only lives a few months compared with around a year for the great pond snail. The smaller dwarf pond snail, 9 millimeters, shows a preference for living in the muddy pools created by cattle, where it occasionally passes on a liver fluke. The Bithynias are similar but with more bulging whorls. The common Bithynia, 1 centimeter, has a tear-shaped operculum, and Leach's Bithynia, 6 millimeters, a round one. They can both be found in Fraser River. The often ubiquitous Jenkins spire shell, 4 millimeters, can often almost cover the surface of the mud where rivers enter the Thames. Although it breeds prolifically, as yet only a single male has been found. Other ram's horns you may come across include the yellowish margined ram's horn, Panorbis, 15 millimeter, the keeled ram's horn, Panorbis carinatus, 16 millimeters, complete with keel, and the whirlpool ram's horn, Aniscus vortex, 10 millimeters, which can occasionally be seen drifting across the surface of lakes. Smaller ram's horns include the white ram's horn, Gyrolis albus, 6 millimeters, which has attractive transverse and spiral lines. The shiny ram's horn, Segmentina nitida, 4 millimeters, which is orange or reddish brown, has a translucent shell, and the button ram's horn, Panorbis leucostroma, 6 millimeters, with its 5-whorled shell. The smallest of them is also the rarest, that is the trumpet ram's horn, Manitus dilatatus, 3 millimeters, its size not aiding its discovery in the Grand Union Canal. Other snails similar to ram's horn are the shiny glass snail, Sonotorides nitidus, 6 millimeters, with its glossy brown. It is a glossy brown and likes to live in the debris at the side of lakes. The valve snails, for example Valvata cristata, 4 millimeters, and Valvata piscinalis, both of which, when at rest, have projecting feathery gills and a tentacle. Beside the 2 valve molluscs already mentioned, there are the much smaller pea and orb shells. Although very hard to identify, they always catch our attention due to their acrobatics using their muscular feet. There are several different horn-coloured pea shells, Pisidium species, 2 to 6 millimeters, which all have one projecting siphon, and only one orb shell, the horny orb, 12 millimeter, which has 2 siphons. Then there are the limpets, that is, Ancylus fluvitilis, 6 millimeters, and the river limit, Ancylus fluvatilis, 6 millimeters, and the river limpets, and Acroluxus lacustris, 6 millimeter, the lake limpets. Both are pleasurable to find, with the tipped over points to their shells, as they are invariably found in perfectly clear, unpolluted water. Lastly, for the enthusiast, there are 2 more great rarities: the very attractive tall spiral Thames door snail, Balia biplicata, 17 millimeters, and the more top-shell-shaped Perforatella rubiginosa. Both of them can be found of all places, on the islands in Thames, that is Isleworth and Brentford Eights. Here they show a preference for an equally unusual habitat, that is the flood debris left by the last high tide.